with Auntie Leah. Yeah, let's get it, let's do it, let's go. Yeah, let's go, let's get it with Auntie Leah. Yeah, come on, let's do it. Nothing better than kicking it with Auntie Leah. Oh yeah. Auntie Leah is in the house. Yeah. We are kicking it with Auntie Leah. Yeah, let's get it, let's do it. Come on in. Come on in now. So Auntie Leah can do a thing. Yeah.
All right, yo. Welcome back to Kicking It with Auntie Leah. I'm so glad to have you guys in the house with me today. What to do, what to do, what to do. Today we will be talking about Kendrick Johnson, the young man that unfortunately passed away January 10th, 2013 in the mat. I did have somebody up here with me. I think that he just went off. We have Jay Moses up here tonight with me on the panel. How is everyone doing tonight? Let me see who's in the building. Now, of course, you know that YouTube, they don't like when we talk about Kendrick Johnson. But you will know that Auntie Leah is going to talk about Kendrick regardless, because I'm gonna go against the grain. So, welcome, Mickey. How you doing? Hey, Barbara J. How you guys doing? I am so sorry that I have not been live in a couple of weeks. This topic, like, is really heavy for me. So, and I've been working a lot on Facebook, so I have been active. You guys have to actually follow my Facebook page, and it's just Leah A. Ficklin on Facebook. So it's very easy to find me. Let me see if I can show you my page. I'm on there a lot more than I am YouTube. Hold on a second. Nephew Jay is back. I'm trying to show him my YouTube page because I know they be missing me and stuff. So here's not my YouTube. My Facebook page is Leah A. Ficklin, and I have a blue check mark. You'll see I have Kendrick and his mom in the background. So please, I'm very active on this page. Lately, I've been more active on YouTube than I have been on, excuse me, Lord. I've been more active on Facebook than I have been on YouTube, and I apologize for that. I'm back on the grind. I'm doing my research. You'll find a whole lot of information on my Facebook page about Kendrick Johnson, things that we're going to talk about tonight. Now, I want to also let you guys know that there is a petition. The Johnsons have put together a petition. So I have posted the link. I have pinned it. And please, guys, please sign the petition. It is very important that we get the word out there. It is very important. Let me see. That we show the government that we're so serious about them doing something about the injustice that happened at Lowndes County High School in 2013. This young man was unalived. He did not fall into a mat. In fact, you're going to find out tonight how I believe and how the evidence supports that he was actually already unalived, and he wasn't put in the mat head first. He was put in the mat feet first, in my opinion. That's what the body's going to show. And he wasn't even rolled in the mat because that would have been difficult to do. So you'll see. We're going to break it all down tonight. Jay, did you want to say anything to the people before we get started?
I just want to say, I appreciate everybody coming. I had went off because I had went and shared it on my Facebook page.
Okay.
So we can get more members and stuff like that. But I'm ready whenever you are.
Well, this is what happens sometimes. YouTube will not. They demonetize my content a lot. Um, and they don't push what I'm talking about because the things I'm talking about is truth. I'm not talking about mess. They would rather push lies out there, misinformation. I'm sorry, YouTube, but it's facts. They'll rather put all that out there instead of putting something like this out there. So,
Right.
um, we're gonna not hold you guys up, and we have a comment that says, "Good luck with this petition. Unfortunately, I am not a citizen, so I have no right to participate in any political activity. I wish that get it past the required number of signature guys. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, Zero. And thank you for being here. I've never seen you before. Welcome, welcome. I hope that you share the live. That will help get it out there, right? And I hope that you like the live. That will also help push it out there. Okay? So who else do we have? We don't have many people with us, and it's okay. I believe that it'll grow. I believe that more people will trickle in if they would just push it out there, right? So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and stop the music and we're going to get right into the video, guys. Tonight, we're going to break it all down. We're going to discuss it and let's get right into it.
Cool.
Um, Let me go ahead and put my disclaimer up real quick. Okay. I'm going to take
Can you
us
hear me?
off. Yes,
You
I can
know,
hear you.
you know what I hate. You know what I don't like about getting on it through the link in Messenger.
Hmm.
It don't let me see nothing on YouTube like the comments and stuff like that.
Okay, I can put the link in the comments on YouTube and you just go grab it from
Okay,
there.
okay. Try that. Try that. I'm gonna see if I can do it.
Okay, there you go. So he will be back, guys, hopefully soon. Thank you for the guys who are here. I really appreciate you being here. YouTube is being a joke again, but we press on anyway. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start the video while Jay is coming in so we can at least get started watching the content. I don't even think I pulled it up yet, so let's pull it up and we will get to it. Thank you guys for being so patient with me. I really appreciate it. And let's just get into it. Let me see the area mode and let's do it.
Kendrick Johnson was many things to many people. Most described him to be a great friend, athlete, son, and sibling. The legacy he leaves continues to live on 10 years later. Johnson's family described Kendrick as a self-starter and motivator to all.
He left behind a legacy of wanting to be the best and striving to perfection. And I believe that if you put your heart into any capacity towards a goal, that you'll actually reach it, and that's what he was about.
Even at the age of 17, he inspired his peers to stay on the right path and to follow their dreams. His mother described his personality as soft-spoken but could light up any room.
And I'm so proud of him for being the child that he was. He didn't have to be pushed to go to school. He never said he wanted to drop out of school. He was glad to go because he had his goals already set in life to go to college and then one day become an NFL player. So I am still so proud. For me, you're my NFL player in heaven.
Kendrick Johnson was an athlete. He played football, basketball, and track. Everyone I spoke with told me they believe his talent would have taken him far.
I remember when he was small and when he used to play football or something, he could get mad when they lose. He could be mad when they lose. Just miss him so much till you can't hardly put it in the words how you really miss him.
The family tells me they will continue to fight for justice and celebrate his life for years to come. His legacy will continue in spirit. Alicia Lewis, WAOB, your hometown news source.
The next candidate will be a video for candidate Chris Carr, who is currently the Georgia Attorney General for Georgia. Do we have the
Good
video?
evening, everybody. I want to thank President Jonathan Johnson and Ms. Armstrong for inviting me to join you tonight. I wish I could be there in person, but I didn't want to miss the chance to share my vision for Georgia's future. I'm Chris Carr, and I'm running for governor because Georgia is the model for the nation. And I'm committed to building on our progress to keep our state strong. I've had the privilege of serving as Economic Development Commissioner and now as Attorney General. We've made and kept Georgia the #1 state to do business, and we've worked to keep our communities safe, taking on gangs, shutting down human trafficking networks, and fighting the fentanyl crisis head on.
Family. There comes a moment when a parent has done everything right. They followed the rules, they filed the paperwork, they trusted the process, and still nothing happens. This is one of those moments. On February 10, 2025, Kenneth Johnson, the father of Kendrick Johnson, exercised his legal right under Georgia law. He filed a formal criminal complaint, not a social media post, not a theory, not an opinion. A documented criminal complaint submitted directly to the Georgia Attorney General, Chris Carr. It included names, it included photographs, it included legal statutes, it included direct allegations of criminal wrongdoing by public officials. This was not emotional, this was procedural, and yet nothing happened. The complaint alleges that Kendrick Johnson was murdered and that law enforcement officials engaged in criminal acts after the fact to conceal that homicide. The individuals named include a former Lowndes County Sheriff's deputy, a former Valdosta Lowndes Regional Crime Laboratory investigator, the sitting Lowndes County Sheriff, and the Sheriff's Office legal counsel. The allegations are serious: false official reports, concealment of evidence, accessory after the fact, conspiracy, violation of oath of office, family. These are not minor accusations. These are felony-level concerns. At the center of this criminal complaint are crime scene photographs, photographs showing visible injuries, photographs showing trauma, photographs that contradict the official narrative. One injury stands out in particular: what appears to be a shoe tread imprint on Kendrick Johnson's abdomen. Yet officials told the public there was no blunt force trauma, no foul play. Family. How do you photograph injuries, then deny they exist? That is not a difference of interpretation. That is a contradiction. Before contacting the Georgia Attorney General, Kenneth Johnson first went to local authorities. On January 10, 2025, he filed a criminal complaint with the Lowndes County Sheriff's Office. He requested a new investigation. He requested arrests. He requested charges under Georgia law. What he received was not justice. He received a letter claiming the mark on Kendrick's body was not a shoe print, but his own arm pressing against his abdomen while trapped inside a rolled gym mat. Family, sit with that explanation. Ask yourself if it makes sense. Georgia law is clear. Concealing evidence of a felony is a crime. Failing to act when you have a legal duty to act matters. A person who helps maintain a false narrative after a felony can be charged as a party to the crime. Silence is not neutral. Silence can be participation. And that brings us to the Georgia Attorney General. Attorney General Chris Carr received this complaint, not informally, not indirectly, directly. A written criminal complaint supported by exhibits, photographs, and statutory law. And according to the Johnson family, that request went nowhere. No independent investigation announced, no special prosecutor appointed, no transparent explanation provided to the public. So now, questions must be asked. Attorney General Chris Carr, why did your office not open a criminal investigation after receiving allegations of false reports and concealment of evidence by law enforcement officials? Why was no independent prosecutor appointed when the accused parties were members of law enforcement? Why was no forensic review ordered, despite photographic evidence being cited in the complaint? Why was a father's criminal complaint effectively stalled without public explanation? And most importantly, what does it take in the state of Georgia for the Attorney General to act if this was not enough? At the time this criminal complaint was submitted, Chris Carr was, and still is, running for governor of Georgia. That matters, because the people of Georgia have a right to ask. Did political considerations influence this decision? Did protecting institutions take priority over examining evidence? Would this complaint have been treated differently if law enforcement officials were not implicated? These are not accusations. They are reasonable questions. Family, this documentary is not here to convict anyone. It is here to demand accountability, because when a father files a criminal complaint, when evidence is presented, when the law is cited, and the state chooses silence, that silence becomes the story. And I need to say this plainly. An attorney general who will block progress in an internal investigation, especially one involving allegations against law enforcement, does not deserve to be governor of Georgia. Leadership requires courage. Justice requires action. Accountability is not optional. So to the voters of Georgia, hold the vote, ask the questions, demand answers. Remember who stood still when justice was asking to move. Because justice ignored today becomes injustice tomorrow, and we are not going to ignore it.
Two sons of an FBI agent are describing rape.
Let me stop right there for a minute. So let's get this right. Currently, Chris Carr is the Attorney General in the state of Georgia. He is now running for governor. Mr. and Mrs. Johnson filed a criminal, petition or asked basically if they would investigate. They have evidence of corruption. They have evidence of a cover-up. And they have evidence that their son did not pass away the way that they alleged that he did. So instead of the Attorney General doing his job, he blocked the case. So anybody that's watching that's in the state of Georgia, we are asking you to hold the vote. I don't live in Georgia. If I did, I probably would be standing in front of the courthouse with a sign. Hold the vote. If he is not willing to hold law enforcement and any other officials like the medical examiner, Dr. Marianne Gaffney Craft, accountable for this botched investigation and for her botched first autopsy, which she flat out lied, according to her deposition that we will get to and see during this video, that he does not deserve to be governor of Georgia. Hold the vote. All right, let's get back into it. You got anything to say, nephew? You got anything to add?
I just had to get to a quieter spot. My kids were being loud.
Oh, I get it. My kids are loud and my animals are too. So I get it. So guys, let's get back into the video and just pay attention to the evidence that's going to be presented during this time. And let's talk about it.
Raids on their residences in recent weeks in connection with an investigation into the death of a Valdosta high school student found rolled up in a gym mat. And their mother says they have not spoken to prosecutors, police, or the grand jury. But now they've talked to Channel 2 investigative reporter Mark Winnie. Mark live in DeKalb County with excerpts from those interviews that are new since 5. Mark.
Let me just explain
we
before we start
outside the Atlanta
watching this.
field office.
Who you see is Brandon Bell to the left. You see his younger brother, Brian Bell, to the right. Brandon Bell, Brian Bell. Do you guys remember that sworn affidavit that we went over from Ryan Domek Hernandez? Well, Brandon Bell, the gentleman on the left he has something around his neck. I don't even want to call him gentleman, but the boy on the left or whatever, he is the one that got intoxicated and told Ryan Domek Hernandez what Brian Bell allegedly did to Kendrick Johnson. They were in the gym with multiple boys and a girl, and they were fighting. To me, I think it was more than fighting. I do think that all of them played a part in beating and stomping and unaliving Kendrick. And then Brian Bell was on steroids, allegedly, and he went through a roid rage. That is the consequence or a side effect of taking steroids. You get real angry. And he said that his little brother, Brian Bell, in this sworn affidavit, took a dumbbell and hit Kendrick in the side of the neck with a dumbbell and unalived him. Then they put Kendrick in the mat. So what we're getting ready to hear is a news story with their lies. Pay attention to their eyes. Pay attention to their body language. Pay attention to what they're saying. It's all a lie.
They were told on themselves.
They did. Pay attention. We're going to slow it down for you this time.
Of the FBI, we are told that is where the father of Brian and Brandon Bell was assigned, though he worked out of Valdosta. But it was another federal agency that apparently showed up at his son's residences recently.
This is where they knocked the morning of around 5 a.m. You can see the scuff marks from the shoes as the U.S. Marshals knocked.
I was laying in bed. I got a bang on my door.
Tactical gear?
Yes, sir, to the nth degree.
It was just like, it's about the Kendrick Johnson case, the ongoing Kendrick Johnson investigation.
Brandon Bell says what he and brother Brian Bell woke up to in two different rental places July 21st was worse than a bad dream. Deputy U.S. Marshals serving search warrants in connection with the mysterious death of Kendrick Johnson at Lowndes High School in 2013.
I was just really shocked.
I broke down and cried.
I was just really shocked.
I broke down and cried.
I really had no reason in my head why they
The
would
smirk
be here.
is diabolical.
One might imagine Kendrick Johnson's mom feels like she's in a nightmare that won't end.
Kendrick gave me strength. You know, he was our baby. He was my son.
The Lowndes County Sheriff says after a thorough investigation, his office agrees with the state medical examiner that Johnson's death was an accident due to positional asphyxia, that he wedged himself in a rolled-up gym mat trying to reach a shoe and could not get out.
I would imagine practically every one of your viewers sat scratching their head.
And a lawsuit by Johnson's parents alleges a group including the Bell brothers, sons of an FBI agent, violently assaulted their son, leading to his death.
My only angle is to find justice for my son.
But the Bell civil attorneys, Patrick O'Connor and Bryce Ladson, say the July 21st search warrants sought text messages, emails, and the like relevant to alleged witness tampering and obstruction of justice.
Is it possible you were involved in any witness tampering or obstruction?
No, sir, in no possible way whatsoever.
Have you obstructed justice in any way?
No.
Have you tampered with any witnesses? Tried to influence anybody, tried to stop somebody from talking in
Look
the
at his
Kendrick
face,
Johnson
guys.
investigation?
No.
Where our viewers can look in your eyes. Did you have anything to do with the death of Kendrick Johnson?
No, sir. Nor me or my family had anything to do with his death.
Both Bells maintain they have rock-solid alibis.
Where were you?
I was in class.
Videos, pictures, and theories abound online about what happened, some involving school surveillance video. We talked to Brandon Bell about his appearance.
I was changing clothes before I had to leave for the wrestling tournament that we were going to. And I went in there to check my weight the first time. I changed, and then the shirt that was assumed to have blood on it that they had circled and said blood, it actually said RLX. It's a type of polo.
How's it feel to get your side out?
Great. Because I finally, we've just been sitting here. Not just letting everybody else talk. You know, it's our time to talk.
Now, a March 2013 document in the file suggests an attorney told the sheriff's office that after consulting with the father of Brian and Brandon Bell, he advised them not to make a statement. We are posting extensive raw video at WSBTV.com, and tomorrow on Channel 2 Action News at 5, video identified as a raid on the home of FBI agent Rick Bell, and what his wife has to say about whether the level of force on display was appropriate under the circumstances.
Okay, so you heard where he said, sorry about that, guys. Let me see if you guys can hear me. All right. You heard that he said that an attorney advised the father, who was an FBI agent, to not allow his children to participate in the investigation. Let me just make this clear. These are the only two children in the school who lawyered up, who refused to speak to just the investigators. Why? If you were innocent, which we can look at your face, Brian and Brandon, and your body language, because we're not stupid, and see that you're not allegedly innocent. But why are you guys the only one that lowered up? And now you have this scripted interview with the news and you have a smirk on your face, a diabolical smirk while you guys are lying. Yeah, justice for Kendrick Johnson. You got anything to add, nephew?
Man, if people understand body language,
Mm-hmm.
eye control, like a lot of people, eyes will bounce,
Right.
or when a question is asked,
Mm-hmm.
you see them look away, look down, or stuff like that.
Right.
They never. You see, what's called he has to try to remain
Yeah.
eye contact, but yeah, you still can see it on the person's face, man.
He was
Like
trying too hard, right? It wasn't natural. He
you
was
could,
trying too hard to convince us.
somebody probably told him to make sure you look straight at it. And don't, you know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
all rehearsed and scripted. But
Right. So, but when you're innocent, you don't have to try to convince anybody.
you can tell.
You can tell when somebody's innocent. Actually, I would have been angry, to be honest with you, like, how dare you type of situation. Not even going to lie about it. But those two, one sat there with a smirk on his face every time he was getting ready to tell a lie. And the other one is straight up in a military position looking, and he couldn't even say not at all. He said no sort, whatever. That's not even a natural answer. That is a scripted answer. Justice for Kendrick Johnson is coming.
I got one more thing.
Go ahead.
Um, a lot of people don't know the personal side of me.
Hmm.
But I'm very, very, very accustomed to the legal system.
Okay.
More than just studying it, I've actually been into everything, you know?
Okay. Right.
So, with that being said, I want to remind everyone that when a judge sign off
Come on now. Preach.
on a search or
Preach.
anything of that sort,
Hmm.
it gotta have proper cause.
Yes.
So, and for them to have to have proper cause is if they did it and it wasn't no proper cause, they can get sued.
Right.
And we got to remember this. This is the FBI. This not no drug unit. Regular city police is going in the house. This is the FBI.
Right.
So for the FBI, I got experience with state and federal.
Right.
So the FBI
Hmm.
bust in your place and have a warrant to do
Come on.
this.
Hmm.
They had significant evidence to do
They
so.
had it. Yep. Great job. Good advice. That's a great breakdown because, like you just said, there's no way that a judge is going to sign off on a warrant, not just one, but several warrants. They went to 4 to 5 families' homes and they confiscated all the electronics. There was something that was put before the judge that made him sign off on it.
They don't even do that for them. He say she say. It
Right.
had to be significant physical evidence for them to do that. You just can't be like they might come and talk and follow up and like ask like I'm gonna give an example.
Hmm.
If I say it's a deceased body in someone's backyard,
Right.
they will go question the person before anything.
Correct.
They are not just gonna go to the judge and be like, "Hey, this person said this. Can you sign
Hmm.
off on this?"
I agree.
It doesn't work that way,
I
especially
agree.
with federal. It don't work that way. But if I bring them something and be like, "Look, this is proof that these people are suspicious of this
Right.
or anything like this," that's a mandatory sign off.
Correct.
And technology now, the judge doesn't have to sign off anything anymore. They can just press a button
I
and
agree.
it automatically approves the search for the warrant and everything. But
Right.
y'all just got to keep that in mind that it had to be something significant for the
Yes.
judge to sign off for them to have a warrant to do a search.
Right. And again, they did searches on multiple people's home. We're gonna go ahead and name them. Name them. Brian and Brandon Bell, Taylor Eakin, which is Brian's current wife, who was at that time his girlfriend. And it's been rumored that she had a crush on Kendrick, and she may have been the one who lured Kendrick into the gym that day. That is something that has been alleged. That is a story that has been told for over, what, 13 years now, right? So they went to her home. They went to Ryan Hall home, which is a gentleman that was also mentioned in the affidavit of Ryan Domek Hernandez when Brandon Bell admitted and confessed to Ryan Domek Hernandez that Ryan Hall was actually in the gym with them and helped dispose of Kendrick's body inside of the mat. They also extended the search to Ryan Hall's ex-girlfriend, Taylor Griffin. She had to give up her phone. We will learn a lot tonight. And just keep in mind on what Jay, nephew, just told you. A judge is not going to sign up on multiple warrants without tangible, validated evidence. What I'm mad about is we don't know what the evidence is because those warrants are sealed. They're sealed. Everything's sealed. But signing this petition will help us. Right? Let's get back into it.
FBI headquarters in DeKalb County with these exclusive interviews. Mark?
And at last check, this case remained a focus of federal investigation. But we are outside the FBI's Atlanta field office because that is where we're told Agent Rick Bell was assigned, and both his sons are the subject of target letters from a federal prosecutor. And now we hear from them at last.
I'm going to ask my photographer to push in tight on your face.
Watch his face.
Okay.
My viewers can read your expression. Did you have anything to do with the death of Kendrick Johnson?
No. He was like one of my good friends.
Did you have anything to do with the death of Kendrick Johnson?
I had to slow it down for you guys.
No.
Lie.
That's all right.
He was like one
Look.
of my good friends.
Lie. Did you guys see that?
Even at the time of his...
Did you guys see that? He could not keep eye contact. He's looking over to the right, trying to think of things to say. You can't lie with a straight face. You can't. Diabolical. Diabolical. Let's get back into it. It's not over. Pay attention.
His death.
Even at the time of his death.
You know, every word we broadcast of this
Hi,
is gonna be
Marquette.
scrutinized by the blogosphere, the Twitter sphere, and so on.
Yes, sir. It should be. And I want everybody to know the truth. And I mean, they can ridicule me and they can say whatever they want, but in the end, the truth will prevail. And everybody will find that me and my brother have been innocent and always will be innocent.
We've
Justice
just heard
is
what
coming.
family attorneys acknowledge. Sheriff's deputies, the GBI, and a federal grand jury have not heard. Brothers Brian and Brandon Bell answering questions, no holds barred, about the mysterious death of Kendrick Johnson in 2013.
He was the laughter of our house. He was the joy of our house. And he gives us strength to keep fighting.
The Lowndes County Sheriff says after a thorough investigation, his office agrees with the state medical examiner that Johnson's death was an accident due to positional asphyxia, that he wedged himself in a rolled-up gym mat trying to reach a shoe and could not get out. Kendrick Johnson's mom takes issue with that.
Are you more convinced today than ever that KJ was the victim of foul play?
Yes.
And with some of what the Bells say.
No, they weren't friends. No, they weren't friends.
Now, see, okay,
And
all
in
right,
the
let's stop it
lawsuit,
right there
Johnson's
real quick.
parents-
Did you hear where Brian Bell lied and couldn't even keep his eyes straight when the interviewer said, if you were friends with Kendrick, and he was like, no, he's one of my good friends, and he couldn't keep it straight. Here come Mrs. Johnson with the truth. No, they were not friends. No, they were not friends. Just lying. Anything else you want to say, nephew? Because I also remember Mr. Johnson saying on the documentary called Finding Kendrick Johnson that Kendrick had told his dad that Brian Bell's father, Rick Bell, the FBI agent, came up to Kendrick and told him, because they had a fight. Remember, guys, they had a fight a year before, and Kendrick got the best of Brian. He told Kendrick there wasn't a fair fight on the bus. Come to my house and re-fight Brian. First of all, sir, nobody's going to your house to give you any type of permission to unalive them and got away with it without being engaged with, in a cover up. You guys, I just have to say this. They think that they're free. They think that this is over, but it's not over. Justice is coming, and it's coming for every last one of them. Sign the petition. I'm sorry, Jay. You got anything else to say before I hit the play button, buddy? I'm gonna get mad as I look at this.
Sure, I had to really get my emotions.
Yeah, it's getting angry.
It makes you angry because of several different reasons. But what I was gonna say, it's up under the same category what you just said though.
Yeah.
About
Just
boy,
just I know this. Hold on. Just to think that a mother sent her or a family sent their 17-year-old kid to what was supposed to be a good, safe high school, and he had been reporting that these kids were bullying him. He had been reporting it for him never to come back, and not only that, for them to tell this lie to the world, and not only that, for a judge to actually penalize them monetarily for trying to get civil justice because they couldn't get criminal justice at the time because they destroyed every single piece of evidence. The medical examiner destroyed his organs. You'll see that she got caught in a lie. Fingernails, clothes, videotape, silencing witnesses. Everything that they can possibly do, they did. Not really fully investigating the crime scene. Not testing the evidence. Everything that they could possibly do to destroy this case. So on top of them losing their baby son, they had to immediately go into fight mode, right? No time to mourn. None. Just been fighting since January the 10th when he went missing and he didn't come home. Please sign the petition. Please share the petition. Please like the lives. Please share the lives. Please follow us on Facebook. I'm going to pull yours up. Or you can pull your own up and I can present it. Join the movement. Because justice is coming.
Right now, it's because of the evidence is being sealed. Right now, common sense is the evidence right now.
Yeah.
So for it to really be justice, everybody got to sign a petition and get everything unlocked.
Yes.
That's sealed right now.
Yeah.
To get a proper investigation.
Yes.
And for the right people that have their minds open, their eyes open, and just have common sense.
Yes.
For Miss Jackie to get justice.
Yes. Amen. And you see, they think that they destroyed all the evidence, though. Because men think that they're smart, right? They think that they're intelligent. But there's a God that I serve, and many of you guys serve, that always got a ram in the bush, right? Sign the petition. Let's get back into it. Hey, Lawan, I have it. The petition is pinned at the top of the chat. It's also on my Facebook page, but it's pinned. So hit the link and sign the petition, guys. All right, let's get back into it.
Allege a group, including the Bell brothers, sons of an FBI agent, violently assaulted their son, leading to his death.
None of the allegations that were made were without research,
but both Bells maintain they have rock-solid alibis.
Did you see Kendrick Johnson?
No, sir, not at any point during that day.
Where were you?
I was in class. I was in class. First block, second block, third block, and fourth block.
The smirk.
Close to the gym?
No.
Did you see Kendrick that day?
No.
Look at his eyes.
I did not.
Did you see Kendrick Johnson?
No, sir, not at any point during that day.
Where were you?
I was in class.
Get the smirk
I
off
was in
your face.
class. First block, second block, third block, and fourth block.
Close to the gym?
No.
Did you see Kendrick that day?
No. I did not.
Okay, guys, what you're looking at right here is Brian Bell, January 10th, 2013, 9:59 a.m. Kendrick Johnson. Brian Bell. So again, Brian, did you see Kendrick that day? Yeah, you did.
That's crazy.
Crazy work.
That alone should have been suspicious for the investigators by itself. Why are you lying?
Lying. And why did he get away with this for so long? He's not going to keep getting away with it, Brian, if you're watching. Justice is coming. No doubt about it.
Versus they would have been on.
Absolutely.
Watching him 24/7 for a long time.
Absolutely. So, how did Brian not see Kendrick? Brian Bell? Kendrick. Right next to each other walking.
Not even
They're not friends. They're not friends. Look at the body language. How were they friends? Friends would be laughing and talking to liar. Again. He's avoiding you and you couldn't even look. You're looking down. What is that in your hand, sir? Is that a stun gun? I'm just asking. I don't know.
Kendrick walking away from him.
Right. This is not your friend. And you know it. Justice is coming. That's all I got to say to the Bells. Get ready for prison. Let's get back into it. Hey, Lady Classic.
The suit suggests the brothers sought revenge for a brief fight between Brian and Kendrick on a team bus.
A year before, I mean,
What was
we're
that
still
about,
friends.
anyway?
So I can't even remember. I mean, it was so small to us, like it was ridiculous.
Your brother had a football scholarship offered to FSU.
Yes, sir, he did.
They pulled it back.
On signing day.
So how low did you get?
To the lowest you can go.
On November 28, 2011, more than a year before Kendrick Johnson was found dead inside that rolled-up gym mat, there was a documented altercation between Kendrick and fellow student Brian Bell. That fight has become a key moment in understanding the history, the tensions, and the narratives built around Kendrick after his death.
Family, I want you to please pay special attention to this video that I put together. The narrative on the unaliving of Kendrick started way back then. Just listen. Just pay attention.
But here's the problem. There are two completely different versions of what happened. According to witness accounts, the fight began when Brian Bell pulled Kendrick's hair. Several students described the incident the exact same way. Brian grabbed Kendrick's hair from behind, and Kendrick defended himself. Simple, straightforward, consistent. But then we look at the sheriff's report, and the story changes. The official report claims that Kendrick started the fight, that he pushed Brian while Brian was supposedly attempting to urinate into a bottle. It's a version that not a single student eyewitness publicly supported. It is also a version that shifts the blame entirely onto Kendrick, without acknowledging the multiple accounts that contradict it. So the question becomes, why? Why would law enforcement be so quick to frame Kendrick as the aggressor when eyewitness statements say otherwise?
You guys see the setup? You see the setup, nephew?
Mm-hmm.
You see the setup? A whole year ago, you have students telling the officers, law enforcement, Brian was the aggressor. Brian pulled Kendrick's hair, but somehow on paper, it was flipped around. Somehow on paper, Kendrick became the aggressor.
You know what I think? I don't think um they're not afraid because of destroying evidence. I feel like they feel they're not afraid because of the people that they have co- covering up everything with them.
Right.
Because the evidence is here. We have all the evidence.
All of it.
You know, because so they didn't destroy nothing
Right.
besides the
The
camera
org.
footage
Yeah.
and the
In the
organ.
organs. Yeah. In his clothes.
But everything surrounding it, besides that right there, it points to foul play.
Right. Right.
They know it was foul play. They just trying to say, oh, we don't have enough evidence to pinpoint
Prosecute.
exactly, prosecute exactly who did it.
Yet. Yet. And here's my thing though. And I want everybody to listen to this because it's a false narrative out there that I need people to stop spreading. His organs were not harvested. His organs were with him, and I wish I wish I can show you, but the pictures are too graphic for me to show you his autopsy photos with his body open and all of his organs are there. They were not harvested. And Lady Classic, thank you for the super chat. Thank you so much, guys. We still have 9 more super chats before we can hit go. But anyway, the organs were destroyed by the medical examiner to hide the cause of death and the time of death. You really need organs to be able to determine blunt force trauma, they thought. But it was another pathologist that came into play, Dr. Anderson, that actually found the blunt force trauma without the organs. So that's how I know that justice is coming. Justice is coming. You want to say anything else before I hit play?
Let's get to it.
Let's get to it.
Why highlight only the narrative that paints Kendrick as the problem while ignoring the version that matches what students actually saw? In any fair investigation, both accounts would be documented, compared, and presented. A complete report should reference every witness, not just the version that aligns with a preferred narrative. But here, we see a pattern that has followed Kendrick even after death. Reports pointing the blame at him, while witness testimony points somewhere else. The fight on November 28th wasn't just a school altercation. It became a piece of evidence, shaped, sanitized, and rewritten in a way that raised even more questions. Questions about bias, questions about intent, and questions about why Kendrick Johnson's truth was never given the same weight as someone else's story.
More now of our exclusive investigation into the death of Kendrick Johnson, specifically what school surveillance video can tell us about how he died and what's missing from it. Again, here's Victor Blackwell.
CNN has hired Grant Fredericks and his team at Forensic Video Solutions to analyze the hundreds of hours of surveillance from Lowndes High School. Although he does not believe the jumpy video is the result of editing, he says there are some other major problems.
Those files are not original files. They're not something that an investigator should rely on for the truth of the video. They've been altered in a number of ways, primarily in image quality, and likely in dropped information loss. There are also a number of files that are corrupted because they've not been processed correctly and they're not playable. So I can't say why they were done that way, but they were not done correctly and they were not done thoroughly. So we're missing information.
Fredericks says that's likely due to how investigators acquired the surveillance video.
Right now, what they've done is they have left it up to the school district to define what it is they want to provide the police. And I think that probably is a mistake.
According to Lowndes County Sheriff's Office incident reports, a detective watched a portion of the surveillance video the day Kendrick Johnson was found. Then he asked the school board's information technology worker for a copy of the surveillance video for the entire wing of the school with the old gym for the last 48 hours. 5 days later, that IT worker provided a hard drive, and according to the incident report, the detective verified it contained the requested surveillance video.
So the investigator's responsibility is to acquire the entire digital video recording system and then have their staff define what they want to obtain. You don't want somebody who might be party to the responsibility to make the decision as to what they provide the police.
And after hours of analysis, Fredericks questions whether Lowndes County Schools provided all of the surveillance video from the old gym to investigators.
There is a hole of time where none of the cameras provide any record that I've been provided.
Fredericks has all the camera angles and all the video released by the Lowndes County Sheriff's Office.
There are 4 cameras in the gym that records motion from when the lights turn on in the morning until when the lights are turned off at night, except for the area of interest.
The moments before Kendrick Johnson enters the gym. Look at what happens to the recordings from these 4 cameras in the gym. The time is recorded with the video. The first camera captures images from the start of the day until 12:04 p.m. Then, nothing. It picks up again at 1:09 p.m. There's consistent surveillance from the second camera until 11:05 a.m. Then it stops and picks up again more than 2 hours later at 1:15 p.m. The third camera also drops at 11:05 a.m. It picks up again at 1:16 p.m. And from the final camera, there's surveillance until 12:04 p.m., no recording for more than an hour, then it picks up again at 1:09 p.m.
I would absolutely expect there to be some record of that activity, and we don't have any here.
Here's why Fredericks would have expected the motion-activated system to record during that time. During that hour and 5 minutes, several students are seen walking into and out of the old gym from the surveillance camera just outside the gym door. We count 7 male students, and 3 of them walk into the gym within 3 minutes prior to Kendrick Johnson walking in.
I can't tell you whether there was no information recorded in the digital video system, or whether somebody made an error and didn't capture it, or whether somebody just didn't provide it.
When surveillance in the gym resumes at 1:09, we see just these few frames of Kendrick Johnson running in the gym. Here's that moment from all of the cameras in the gym, although there's a record from only 2, and the camera just outside the door.
Guys, do you know that the medical examiner, the person that completed the first autopsy, Dr. Marianne Gaffney Craft, put in her sworn affidavit that Kendrick walked into the gym alone? And we can clearly see there are students that walked in before him and students that walked in behind him. She said she got her information from visually watching the video. And not only that, she got her information from a detective that also declared that he walked into the gym alone. But did we not just see that he walked in with students right behind him and students right before him? That alone also should warrant an additional investigation, right, Jay?
Yes, ma'am.
Diabolical. Crazy. Sworn affidavits from sworn people that are in high positions that we are supposed to trust conjured up this lie to cover up this young boy, 17-year-old's unaliving. Crazy work. Let's get back to it, guys.
Notice, the hall camera timestamp appears to be 10 minutes behind, and there's no confirmation either time matches the exact time of day. It is the last time his image is captured on video. For the next hour, there are multiple gaps in the video surveillance in the gym. And that is crucial. It's a really important time.
Well, it really is the only option to answer the question, really, what happened.
And there's no video showing the initial discovery of a body in the gym. The next time we see Kendrick Johnson is the following day when he's being wheeled out of the gym in a body bag.
Do you believe it's a coincidence that that time period in the gym is
Welcome,
missing?
Junior. Welcome.
Oh boy. Investigators are always suspicious and should be suspicious. And it's suspicious that that time period is not there. So yes, I would be suspicious. And until I have the digital video system in my hand, until I can say, or an investigator can say, everything is intact, this was what's recorded, I would still be highly suspicious of this.
So after fighting for months on a city street corner and in the county courthouse to get the surveillance video, Kendrick Johnson's parents still do not know who was in the gym before Kendrick ran in, nor who, if anyone, was there or what happened in those moments after.
Victor Blackwell joins us now. So what's the school district and the sheriff's department saying?
Well, Anderson, we sent a long list of questions to both an attorney for the sheriff's office and an attorney for the Lowndes County School District. Well, we have not received an answer to our questions from the attorney for the sheriff's office, but we have received a response from the attorney for the school district. No comment. Although that attorney has said that he will make the original hard drive available to the court. And of course, the Johnsons want to make sure that all the information from the school's hard drive was then given to the sheriff's office, which they hope eventually was all passed on to them. And of course, we'll find that out. Anderson?
You still believe that they beat up Kendrick, put him in that map?
I do, because all the evidence points toward them.
What about these boys? I mean, they've gone on down the road.
I mean, like I tell everybody, I don't care about those boys. I just want the responsible party, and if that's where it is, I want those held accountable for what happened to Kendrick.
The Johnson family's attorneys filed another lawsuit in August of 2016, naming 42 defendants, including members of the Lowndes Sheriff's Office and the GBI. A federal judge dismissed the lawsuit and ordered the Johnson family to pay legal fees.
Did you guys hear that?
Mistrust of law enforcement. It's always been at this.
Did you guys hear that? They dismissed the lawsuit and ordered the Johnsons to pay almost $300,000 in legal fees. What a blow, right? You're already low to the ground in the grave with your child. And then you're going to just dump this steel on top of the grave. This steel. You're going to, not only did you take my child, he was unalive, you covered it up, and now I have to pay you? And now I have to pay? And then I got something to say about the so-called attorney that came in sheep's clothing. You're a wolf, Cheyenne King. I'm going to just call it out how I see it. And I don't think that you were for the Johnsons. I don't believe that you were really fighting for them. I believe that you were paid opportunists and a paid opposition. I believe that you were sent in under the guise of helping this family, only to destroy them even more. I'm going to ask you to give them their full file so it can be fully investigated. You're sitting there holding their file from them. You have no right. Release the paperwork, the video evidence, the call logs, the emails, everything. I do not believe, not one bit, that you were for the Johnsons. I said what I said. I said what I said. There's so many people that I believe that are involved in this cover-up that can be paid off, that have no conscience of what they will do to try to destroy this family, but justice is coming. And if anybody who had any involvement or even thought about being involved in the cover-up, I declare and decree that you're going to jail. Got anything else to say, nephew? Because I'm siding at Mr. King. Because when you read the deposition that he gave Dr. Gaffney Craft, you'll see that he really wasn't trying to get to the bottom of anything. He came unprepared. He didn't have the video. He didn't have the confessions. And he didn't ask the right questions. He didn't even pay the fee to perform a full investigation or be able to really ask her full questions. Let's get back to it. You got anything else to say?
They just everything was effortlessly. You know what I'm saying? It was no effort at all. So
correct.
It's us fighting to get the system about it now.
Correct. All right, let's get back to it.
Center of the Kendrick Johnson case. Those feelings are deep-rooted for many in the black community. South Georgia has a painful racist history.
Sheriff Hawk reopened the case in March of 2021. He said it was because he wanted to find the truth. He walked me through that process.
And Jackie Johnson explained to me why those efforts did nothing to establish trust.
He is a liar. He is a liar. He told plenty of lies in that 16-page document. He told plenty of lies, and my husband called him out on those lies.
He says that there was no evidence in there.
Yeah, of course, that's what he's gonna say.
Why do you think he would do that?
Because he's allegedly part of the cover-up now.
Don't call me a liar. You can call me a lot of names. You can call me a cracker. You can call me whatever you want to. You can call me any name in the book. A lot of them you can't put on TV. Don't call me a liar. Don't call me a liar. You can call me a lot of names. You can call me a cracker. You can call me whatever you want to. You can call me any name in the book. A lot of them you can't put on TV.
Now, him saying that statement on national TV should have disqualified him as being the one that completed the second investigation, right? Because nobody insinuated race. He the one who brought race into it.
Yep.
Did he not say you can call me a cracker?
That
But you can't.
The answer alone.
Yes, should have disqualified that second investigation. Who has that in their mind? Nobody but a racist, in my opinion.
Nope.
You can call me a cracker, but you can't call me a liar. Bullshit. Anything else, nephew?
No.
Ridiculous. Unbelievable.
Don't call me a liar.
Unbelievable, guys.
Lowndes County Sheriff's Office closed.
In June, Kendrick's body was sent to Florida. The Johnsons hired Dr. Bill Anderson to conduct an independent second autopsy.
I'm a forensic pathologist. I've been actually practicing over 40 years in the field of forensic pathology and pathology in general. And one of the things that immediately stuck out was the findings in the lungs. Now, in a positional asphyxia, where someone is trapped in something where they can't breathe, they fight for breath, so forth, and over a period of time, their muscles begin to wear out, essentially. So
This
they're
is
not
Dr.
breathing
Bill
as well.
Anderson.
And this causes basically the heart to start failing and fluid to build up in the lungs and get more and more fluid, and this basically suffocates. Well, in Kendrick Johnson's case, the lungs were not only had no fluid in, but they were basically normal. The diagnosis of positional asphyxia, if you're going to make that diagnosis, when you look at the lungs under the microscope, you can see the fluid in the lungs. When you look at the weights of the lungs, which are normally around 250 grams and 280 grams, they will be much heavier, 3 to 4 times that weight. Well, Kendrick's were actually normal weight.
So according to the state's own documents, which you have, right?
Correct.
His lungs weighed the normal weight.
Absolutely. That was, in fact, that was the first red flag that caught my attention. So if you find this dichotomy, basically, then you have to figure out, well, what was it? Was it something else that was going on? But in the absence of the lungs being heavy, you cannot make the diagnosis of positional asphyxia. So because of that, then we decided, well, all right, we don't have any information. So we decided we would go ahead and exhume the body and do a second autopsy.
Listen closely, guys.
It's just unexplainable to stand there and watch, your child coming back out of the ground again.
Well, we opened the body in this particular case, and the organs were not there.
Organs
The
gone.
body had basically paper had been stuffed into the cavity to fill it up.
Newspaper, guys.
And so the organs actually were not in the body at all.
Every organ from the top of Kendrick's head to his pelvis
gone.
When I found out the organs were missing, I was like, how is that possible? Because I sat through.
I want you guys to know that this is a AI copy of what I see on the autopsy photos. As you can see, his organs are there. This is a real picture. I just turned it into AI. His organs were there at the first autopsy. This is the real picture.
Many of our autopsies.
Just AI version, because I couldn't put the real one out here. As you can see, this hemorrhage.
And the organs are taken out, examined, and they're placed in a bag. Everything you take out, you put inside of a bag. And once it's back inside of the bag, the body is sewed up. So everything is put back inside the victim.
Have you ever opened a body in 40 years and had that happen to you?
It was unexpected for a medical examiner case.
President of the National Association of Medical Examiners, who told CNN he's never heard of this practice.
You see cuts there by his nails.
Yeah, I see those
just
cuts
circle
right
them
there.
You see these cuts. This goes in line with the family's theory that there was a fight.
This is indicative of something that is fresh. These are not healing insults or injuries that he has. These little areas right here
So are they close to time of death?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm finding very interesting that these are what we refer to as curvilinear. These could be consistent with fingernail marks.
The attorney for the funeral home,
Deep
who said,
in
yes,
wounds.
those clothes did make it to the funeral home. A couple of days later, I got an email saying, no, we never received the clothes.
A spokeswoman for the state tells CNN after its autopsy, the organs were placed in Johnson's body, the body was closed, then the body was released to the funeral home.
Lies.
State investigators say it's their normal practice.
It's a Black Friday ad, JCPenney ad.
Yes.
Stuff in the newspaper ain't like he was a garbage can.
From what was left, what could you derive?
So what we did, we still had the rest of the body. So we looked for other injuries that might have been overlooked or not dissected during the first autopsy. Something that might conceivably result in an explanation for why this child, who supposedly died of positional asphyxia, had normal lungs. So what we did, we continued basically to look up near the angle of the jaw, underneath the jaw. And at that point, we found an area of bleeding, hemorrhage, which had not been described. This particular area happens to be very close, in fact, involving a nerve structure called the carotid sinus. And the carotid sinus basically controls blood pressure. And the idea is if blood pressure goes too high, the carotid sinus will basically sense that and slow the heart rate. Well, one of the other ways you can slow the heart rate is severe compression of the area around the carotid sinus. And that has even resulted in people dying suddenly. And this was distinctly different from all the other tissue around it. So it appeared to be due to blunt force trauma to the area. So we basically had absolute proof that this was hemorrhage in that area, in an area that if pressure is applied could result in sudden death. Well, this would make things a little more reasonable as far as explaining why you have the lungs having no fluid, because it would obviously mean he was dead when he was put in the gym mat.
According to the paramedics report, there was bruising noted to right side jaw.
The parents hired their own medical examiner who said this was a killing, blunt force trauma to the neck.
Well, the sounds of those screeching chains echoed through the Sunset Cemetery in Valdosta today as Kendrick Johnson's grave was exhumed for the second time. The Johnson family is hoping a third autopsy will help them figure out what happened to their son.
Re-looking at the pictures, there was an area on the right side of the chest that looked like hemorrhage. So we did a third autopsy. It turns out we used the same techniques we did before. We did show that there had been blunt force trauma to the right side of the chest. So we had two areas of trauma for sure. So I'm fairly confident that we pretty much have the mechanism of how this kid died.
So when you went and you presented your evidence, what happened?
We contacted the medical examiner in Georgia and the state attorney, and I told them that we had the photos, we had the microscopic slides, and so forth. And the response we got was, "We're not interested in looking at them." Nobody has basically requested to look at the slides except the U.S. Attorney's Office.
Clearly, there's something on these slides that Dr. Anderson made the state of Georgia doesn't want you to see. So for the first time ever, here they are.
You can see here, this is all dried out, embalmed tissue.
Okay, so family, I was not able to screen record the actual slides for you. I do encourage you to please go watch the documentary Finding Kendrick Johnson. I have it, actually bought it on Prime Video. It doesn't allow you to screen record, or I would have showed you those photos, even though they're discussing as well. I probably can try to sneak in some photos for you guys after the video. I'm gonna have to cut that part out because, you know, YouTube is gonna demonetize this video anyway. They have demonetized every video that I've done of Kendrick. So if you guys can please support the channel, if you can, super chat, super sticker, whatever, that would be great. Otherwise, it's not required, it's desired. It helps, you know, continue to produce the videos. But anyway, I'm going to try to show you some of the video photos after the video is done. Trigger warning, you know, trigger warning. It's horrible. I dream about it. It's heartbreaking, but the Johnsons want the world to see what these people did to their baby, and I'm dedicated to showing them, and I'm jeopardizing my channel to showing the world. I don't care. I just want justice. Let's get back to it.
And when we open this area, we see this distinct area, which I'm using the cursor to show, of hemorrhage. That red coloration, distinctly different than the other area. Now, this is the area under the microscope, and we can see all these red areas here. Now, the question then becomes, well, are these really red blood cells? So that's when we do the immunohistochemistry, and that's a picture of the immunostaining, we call it. And the areas that are brown, that's the antibody picking up the antigen, which is the hemoglobin. So that's basically how we prove that this is actually hemorrhage, not artifact. And that made our diagnosis pretty firm that this was area of blunt force trauma to the neck. I sent it to 2 other pathologists to look at myself before we came up with our decision.
And everyone agreed.
Yeah.
When explanations are given for a young man's death, they must explain more than where the body was found. They must explain how the injuries on that body occurred. In the case of Kendrick Johnson, injuries were documented on the right side of the jaw, the right side of the neck, and the right upper chest. These injuries did not appear randomly. They appear together, and they appear on the same side of the body. That matters. To understand why, we must step away from narrative explanations and look at how the human body moves under force. Imagine a scenario where the head is controlled from the right side. This could involve an arm position along or under the right side of the jaw. In this position, the jaw becomes a lever point. Because the jaw is rigid and attached to the skull, pressure applied here transfers force directly into the neck. Step 2, neck compression. The right side of the neck bends. The cervical spine undergoes lateral flexion, not just forward movement. Step 3, body weight. The right upper chest near the collarbone and pectoral area absorbs that force. And this is where I speak plainly. There is a known way in wrestling that injuries to the jaw, neck, and upper chest on the same side can occur together.
I want you guys to pay special attention to this, because rumor has it, it was the wrestling team that attacked Kendrick. Allegedly, it was members of the wrestling team that attacked and unalived Kendrick Johnson. Please pay special attention to this analysis. Go ahead. You got something to say, Jay? No? Okay.
In wrestling terms, this is commonly seen in a side headlock or front headlock style control, often combined with a snap down and body pressure. A side headlock places an arm along the side of the jaw and under the chin, turning the jaw into a lever. This creates a single continuous pathway of force, jaw as control, neck as transmission, chest as absorption, until the official explanation accounts for how these injuries could occur together. We are not done asking questions. Justice for Kendrick Johnson. Because silence would be wrong. It is awful and inhumane to accuse a grieving mother whose son was brutally murdered and whose death was allegedly covered up of intentionally trying to profit from his death. I am 100% certain that Jacqueline Jackie Johnson would rather have Kendrick Johnson alive and back in her arms than any amount of money anyone could ever offer her. To even suggest otherwise is cruel. Shame on you, Ash Patino.
I said what I said.
Shame on you for making bold public allegations against a mother without presenting verified facts to support such a serious claim. Shame on you for discrediting a grieving Black mother who was forced into survival mode the moment her child's body was found. This family did not get the luxury of mourning. From day one, they have been fighting. A town, law enforcement at every level, the medical examiner, the courts, and now public commentators like you. There is documented evidence that shows Kendrick Johnson was murdered, not the victim of an accident. And instead of focusing on that evidence, you chose to attack the character of his mother. That says more about you than it ever will about her. And let's talk about something else that cannot be ignored. You personally administered the polygraph test to Ryan Domek Hernandez regarding his sworn affidavit, and he passed. By your own platform's standards, that mattered. And yet, after he passed that lie detector test, you suddenly had nothing more to say about this case. You abruptly dropped the series and moved on, with no explanation to your audience. Why? Because his passing the polygraph did not fit your narrative? That is a fair question. So here is another one, and I am asking it as a question, not an accusation. Ash, how much were you paid? Because walking away from a case at the exact moment
I said what I said.
supporting your
How much were you
storyline
paid?
raises serious concerns about motive. This family deserves compassion. This mother deserves respect. And this case deserves truth, not character assassination. We can disagree, we can investigate, but we do not dehumanize a grieving mother in the pursuit of content for our channels. Ash Patino owes Mrs. Jackie Johnson an apology. Auntie Leah.
Bitch. Guys, fair use, fair use. Ash, if you want to strike me, I don't give a shit because you two don't even pay that much. Strike me all you want. I'm showing the world your shadiness. I'm showing the world your bullshit. And shame on you. I said what I said. Fair use, though. Fair use.
We meet Kendrick Johnson in the weight room of the gym. During the altercation, Brandon Bell said that his brother Brian struck Kendrick Johnson in the neck or head with a weight and Kendrick fell.
Ah, there you are.
There we go.
Awesome.
I don't know what that was. That was weird. But I had to go unmute myself in the settings. So anyway.
That's funny. Technology. It's so great, yet so limiting sometimes. My first call was to Hannah, and just to remind you, Hannah was best friends with Taylor Aiken back in 2013 when the incident happened with KJ. And Taylor, for all of those who are watching, probably already know that was Brian Bell's girlfriend or somebody he was kind of seeing around the time that KJ was last seen. I wanted to reach out to Hannah because she's been such an asset to this case, and we had really kind of started to build a friendship. So I also then contacted Debbie, my investigator, because after getting these test results, we really had some marching orders in place, so we needed to discuss next steps. Thanks for coming on now with the news that Brian Anthony passed.
He passed. He passed the polygraph.
Yeah, this is quite a shock, but
And guys, just to
as
give
I
you some
said,
context, she's saying, remember earlier in the show, I told you there was a person, Brian Domek Hernandez, who Brian Bell's older brother, confessed to and told what Brian Bell did to Kendrick Johnson. She called him a liar. He popped his shit in his collar and was like, you don't call me a liar, I'll take a polygraph test. He goes down to her office, skipping to Malu, took his polygraph test and passed it. And as soon as he passed it, this right here, what you see is the last episode of a 28 episode series. Ash Patino stopped after Ryan Domek Hernandez passed. No more episodes, because her narrative, her bashing of Jackie Johnson, her lie, her spinning the narrative after she came to them under the guise of trying to solve the case and flip-flop mid-series, called the witness a liar. The witness said, I'll prove to you that I'm not, passed it, and she was speechless and had nothing else to say. You owe her an apology, Ash. And I don't give a shit about a strike. They don't pay me enough anyway. Justice for Kendrick Johnson. You got anything else to say, nephew? I'm crazy. I am. I'm a God-fearing crazy woman, though.
You know what's sad about it though?
What?
She didn't even have the audacity to go back on her profile and straighten up all the false narratives he's put out there.
Exactly. She abandoned the mission.
She just disappeared.
Still
got people on her profile running with the narrative that she had before that lie detector test.
Exactly, until Auntie Leah and Jay Moses came on the scene. We exposing it all.
Pick it apart.
And even though you two may not have pushed us out today, we're going to figure out a way to trick the algorithm. Because you guys remember a few weeks ago when YouTube was throwing us out there, and then was like, wait a minute, hold on, what's she talking about? Let me stop. Anyway, we don't care. I don't care. This message has to get out because Kendrick has to get justice. This family, the Johnsons, have to get justice. They have to be able to mourn. They have to start. 13 years, way too long. And the God I serve and you guys serve ain't gonna stand for it. All you gotta do is believe. And I believe. Y'all know me. I believe every word. Let's get back into it. I love y'all. I love y'all bad. I love y'all down for rocking with me, even though I'm absent sometimes. Let's get back into it. Look at her. Just mad because she's wrinkled. I'm wrinkled too, but she mad. I ain't mad.
Opened a whole new can of worms now.
It's almost maddening. I totally thought that was going to come back as a lie.
Yeah, well, I think everybody probably did, just with his history and the story and his credential. I mean, he just, you know what I mean? It just didn't seem even possible that he was telling the truth, but.
Yeah, and then I can't even quite comprehend what that might mean. He clearly passed.
So now what?
I literally have no idea. I have no fucking idea. Yeah, I mean, maybe. I believe the lie detector test, though. I believe it.
Yeah.
That's my problem. I don't doubt it. So this is going to get a little bit confusing here, but something amazing happened this morning. So One thing to keep in mind here is we've had two major confessions that have really put the nails in the Bell brothers' coffin. And one was from Ryan Anthony Domek Hernandez, which I think we
Thank you,
proved
Barbara
relatively
J.
fast that statement was not true. He was also friends of the Johnson family. So we were able to discover.
Family, just a reminder that every dollar, every 50 cent, whatever that you send helps me pay for the tools I need to keep the channel up because YouTube doesn't want to pay me because I am talking about the truth and I don't give a shit that they don't pay me. I work a full-time job, by the way. I work. So it don't matter, but it does help. So I really appreciate you, Barbara J, and anybody else that wants to contribute. Please, please help us out. And even if you don't, I'm still gonna spread the truth. I'll make a way. Gotta make a way. Let's get back to it.
Both of those. This was really important for us to get to the bottom of for so many reasons. We had uncovered Jackie lying to the public on many occasions, and we believe this was to help her funnel in donations. The problem with this is there's a lot of these cases that need people's donations and time. And if Jackie is knowingly spreading a narrative that is not true,
you're a liar.
For financial benefit, I find that to be really disgusting.
There's no way that would, no one would trade. You know, I was going to say no one would trade their children, but I will tell you this. Hold on. No one would trade their children for money. I don't know anyone, if that makes sense. Make it make sense. We don't do that. Just like we're not going into the mat.
I don't see nobody carrying this for this long if that was the case.
Listen. You said a mouthful. Shame on you, Ash Patino.
Go ahead, man. Crazy about, I don't think too many people probably have been to her page and saw what she was doing, but I came across the interesting video that she put up where she was trying to demonstrate the
mat.
Possibilities of the mat. But if you pay attention to the video when she asked, she had a black guy.
Listen, I already broke all that down on the previous video. Go watch it. Go ahead. Preach, nephew. Just preach. But yes, I already broke that down. Go ahead. The difference between us.
I'm just putting it out there.
Come on now. Come on.
A black guy?
Yeah.
And a white guy.
Right.
To demonstrate the whole mat situation. Before they demonstrated, they asked the white guy and the black guy, do they feel like first instinct that they would even go into the match?
Come on now, preach.
The white guy say, "Oh yeah," and then ask them, "Do you feel like it would be easy or hard to get in?" And you're like, "I believe I can get into it."
Right, adventurous, right? Go ahead.
Yeah. So they ask the black guy. Well, you have your instinct will be that you can fit in there and get out of the problem. Like, no, I'm not.
Come on, break it down, nephew. Break it down.
So I'll be conflicted.
Right.
I'll be conflicted as if because they have the mindset that they would do that.
Yes.
They just trying to play on people intelligent. So they might just be kind of up in the head compared to people of color. We're not finna just sit there like I'm about to climb on here and jump and dive in this mat, try to squeeze myself all the way in and try to get a shoe.
Well, that's where the song was inspired. We're not going in the mat. That's where I wrote it.
Instead of just pushing the mat over.
Right.
First of all, y'all got to realize these are football players.
Yes, and wrestlers. Come on. And basketball players. Come on.
All you have to do is push it, and they already the kids already explained this how they do it. They
right.
Push the mat down and retrieve the shoes from the bottom.
Exactly.
Ain't no person of color is gonna have in their mind. I'm gonna climb up on top of that.
Come on,
get my
preach, nephew, preach.
So I'm just pointing out the difference between the mindset of one of color. And
it's really cultural. It's our culture, right? We were taught we defend ourselves, run from danger from the time that we came out the womb. Right. We were taught there was enemies trying to get us. On the other hand, the Caucasus folk, and I'm not racist, I love y'all. Please understand that. They were taught to be adventurous. We're going hunting, right? You 3 years old with a rifle to shoot a buck. We in the hood running from anybody that don't look right.
Anybody,
Bully,
even the
talking.
police.
Taught from day one, do not go towards danger. They even show that in the movies, baby. Am I right or wrong?
Right.
In the movies we run. We run in real life too. Kendrick Johnson did not willingly go into that match. He was, first of all, mentally incapable.
To know that he's not just gonna be able to just easily just go into that mat like that. And another thing, if you going into the mat like that, and if the mat is the same diameter all the way down, so
yes, and taller than you.
So if I go into this mat from chest up, I'm already like this right here. Like, okay, I know I can't go into this mat. You know what I'm saying? I'm keep wiggling I'm not going to continue wiggling myself all the way down this mat, and knowing that I'm having a hard time doing that. Well, I'm gonna keep digging for what?
Listen, and then they had a nerve to try to make us believe that he went down there and was successful the first time, only grabbed one shoe, threw it yards away, and went back in danger again. Come on, man.
We ain't doing that.
We're not doing none of it.
We ain't doing that.
That's why we're not going into the mat. Not going, are we, nephew? Come on, man. Why they thought we was dumb? I don't understand it.
It's just common sense. And if anybody arguing with this man just don't have any common sense.
Listen.
The evidence is in the common sense.
Yes. And we got a lot of it, to be honest with you. We come out taught survival skills. Run away from danger. Not go towards it. We're not adventurous. We're not going into the woods with a shotgun, deer hunt. Some of us do, I guess, but not the majority.
But it's not no a high percentage
at all
generational thing with us. You know what I'm saying? You got a couple black people hunting and stuff like that, but as far as like a whole a high percentage of black people doing that, no,
not doing it. That's why we're not going into the mat, not willingly.
If we going into the woods, we doing some target practice.
Or something. I ain't going in the woods. I don't know about you. I ain't going. I ain't going in the woods. Too many bugs. I ain't got time for none of that.
My dad a veteran, so we'll sit up some targets. You know what I'm saying? Make sure he teaching all his kids know how to have target practice, know how to actually shoot a gun type of stuff like that. But as far as hunting and stuff like that, we ain't doing all that.
We're not doing that. We wasn't taught that way. We wasn't. We grew up in the hood.
We ended up learning how to protect ourselves.
Protect yourself. Run from danger. I mean, that's me. Okay?
And that's exactly what Kendrick did.
That's exactly what he tried. Yeah. He was not going to that mat like that. They had to take this boy out for him put him in that mat. And they made a huge mistake.
He tried to protect himself and probably tried to run from danger, but can't get out.
Yep. But he's not done. God's not done. Justice is coming. All right, let's get back into it. Miss Jackie said, all lies, Ash, all lies. Let's look at her. She's side-eyeing you right now. All lies.
She's looking like, come on now.
Aaliyah Griffin's deposition is sworn testimony. It is part of the official record. In her deposition, Aaliyah Griffin testified that she received a text message from Ryan Hall referencing Kendrick Johnson's death. Under oath, she stated that the message said, Brian and them killed KJ. A Sarah Therfars.
Is that another? Hold up.
That statement is documented in the deposition.
Did we just hear another confession that was discredited? You want to play it again? Okay. Oh God, we gotta look at her again. Okay.
Lie detector test, though. I mean, I believe it. Yeah. That's my problem. I don't doubt it. So this is going to get a little bit confusing here, but something amazing
Pay attention,
happened
family.
this morning.
Pay attention.
One thing to keep in mind here is we've had two major confessions that have really put the nails in the Bell brothers' coffin. And one was from Ryan Anthony Domek Hernandez, which I think we proved relatively fast that statement was not true. He was also friends of the Johnson family, so we were able to discover both of those. This was really important for us to get to the bottom of for so many reasons. We had uncovered Jackie lying to the public on many occasions, and we believe this was to help her funnel in donations. The problem with this is there's a lot of these cases that need people's donations and time. And if Jackie is knowingly spreading a narrative that is not true for a financial benefit, I find that to be really disgusting behavior, and that's what I believe is happening here.
She said all lies. You're lying, heifer. You lying. You
Aaliyah
lying.
Griffin's deposition is sworn testimony. It is part of the official record. In her deposition, Aaliyah Griffin testified that she received a text message from Ryan Hall referencing Kendrick Johnson's death. Under oath, she stated that the message said, "Brian and them killed KJ. A Sarah Sarafars there enough."
Okay, she starts speaking in tongues, y'all.
That is documented in the deposition as something she personally received via text message. Later in the deposition, Aaliyah Griffin testified about additional language attributed to Ryan Hall that referenced Kendrick Johnson. She stated that Ryan made a comment to another individual, saying words to the effect of, "I'll do him like I did KJ." Those words were entered into the record through sworn testimony.
Sworn testimony, Jay.
Portion of the deposition addresses changes that occurred after sworn
testimony. This young lady, who actually is African American, who was dating Ryan Domek Hall. No. Please forget that. Aaliyah Griffin was African American who was dating Ryan Hall, one of the guys that Brandon Bell told Ryan Domek Hernandez helped put Kendrick into the mat. He told her Brian Bell unalive Kendrick. That's what he said. And then he's crashing out. Talking about, "I'll do you like I did KJ." Sworn testimony. She had it printed out, the text message on her phone printed out. The feds confiscated her phone. Remember, she was one of the individuals that they went to her house. Why is it that we never heard nothing about those electronics? We'll get to that soon. Got anything to say, nephew?
Wasn't that Ron Hall they seen in the video with KJ?
That looked just like Ryan Hall. I was thinking it was either Ryan Hall or Matt Moody. I was asking people, who was this? But the body build looks more like Ryan Hall, the one that went in front of KJ. And with the red shirt, looks more like Ryan Hall, to be honest with you.
I got one thing else to say.
Go ahead.
I'm writing a song right now. It's and I made this a bar. I say, when is justice will be given to black men? Oh, when a black man kills a black man. And I'm gonna show you the example of that.
Okay.
And it's in the same platform as what's going on now.
Okay.
What you just showed.
Okay, come on.
Tupac got murdered.
That's my baby. Y'all know how I feel about Pac. Go ahead.
Rapper, that's my boy. 90s.
Yeah.
Okay. Kippy D.
Come on, Keefe.
Went onto an interview.
Come on.
Told the story about what happened.
Come on.
He was in the car with the alleged killer of Tupac.
Come on.
Do y'all know from 20-something years ago?
About 30 now.
30-something now. Years ago, just by what he said. And it's the same example of what's going on right then when they showed evidence of, you know what I'm saying?
I get
if you explaining a situation in detail at that,
right,
of what happened to Kendrick, what y'all did to him,
come
they
on,
would
nephew.
have automatically locked him up.
Automatically.
Automatically. Just like
Just
Kiki
like
D.
that. Yep.
He explained everything step by step of what happened with Tupac from over 30-some years ago.
Yes.
And guess where he's at now?
In jail. On trial.
What?
Telling the truth.
About
confessing
from how
about
long
what
ago?
happened 30 years ago. So justice is coming.
Keep that in
Justice
mind.
is coming.
Y'all,
To the
I'm
belts.
showing y'all the difference between if it was black on black.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But I'm not racist. I'm not racist either.
I'm not
but
either.
we still got to put the facts out there.
We got to put it out there. There's a difference. And I do believe that somebody involved in this crime can't handle it no more. I believe it in my heart that somebody can't handle it. It's bothering somebody to where they're going to break. They're going to break and they're going to start talking. Justice is coming. Period. And I ain't taking that back. Thank you for that breakdown, because that's true. It don't matter how long ago it was. It's gonna come to the head. It's gonna come to the forefront. It's a law. Some people call it karma. I call it God's vengeance. His promise. Whatever you want to call it. It's a fact. You ain't gonna be able to escape it. Let's get back to it, guys. We almost done. But this has been amazing breakdown of what's going on. We're not done with this.
Testimony was given. Aaliyah Griffin testified that communication between the Bells and Ryan Hall stopped following that point. Her words were direct. They stopped talking to him. The timing of that change matters. It occurred after testimony had been given and entered into the record. The deposition also reflects cooperation with federal authorities. Aaliyah Griffin turned over cell phone data to the FBI during the course of the investigation. What remains unanswered in the record is whether she was ever informed of what data was extracted, what was reviewed, or what conclusions, if any, were reached. That absence of follow-up is part of the record as well. Taken together, the deposition establishes the following: a text message stating Brian and them killed KJ, a statement attributed to Ryan Hall saying, "I'll do him like I did KJ," a change in communication after sworn testimony, they stopped talking to him, cooperation with the FBI through the surrender of cell phone data without documented disclosure of findings. Depositions exist to preserve statements under oath. They create a timeline. They document words, actions, and changes that occur after testimony is given. This is why the deposition matters. This is why it must be read in full. And this is why the record deserves careful examination. Truth does not fear questions. Justice requires transparency.
Until we opened the body, we were looking for the container or bag or whatever that had the organs in it, and it was not there.
So even before you opened him, were you already thinking that they're probably not in him either?
No, I assumed that they were going to be there. It was a medical examiner case, and practical reason is that the funeral home then has to worry about fixing the organs and so forth, and the medical examiner is through with it. You don't want to have to mess around with all that, essentially. So it's much easier to send the organs back, unless you may have to save a heart occasionally or a brain if there's a questionable diagnosis, but not all the organs. You don't want all that to worry about it. That's the funeral director's problem once you send it. So yeah, I assumed that this was a medical examiner case, that the organs would just be there.
Absolutely. And is that a common practice to see somebody to have newspaper in them? Is that newspaper used commonly, or had you ever seen that before?
Oh, that's the first time I remember seeing newspaper.
So you've been doing this since 1976, and that's the first time you've seen newspaper. Have you ever even heard of that being in practice?
Well, anything that would absorb the fluid, I suppose, any paper. I mean, usually there's like a cotton thing that they have, fabric that they put in and absorb it. Then usually the organs are in with it, so that helps absorb some of the stuff.
So you've never heard a satisfying answer about where the organs ended up?
No.
Okay. And When you say all the organs were missing, can you explain to people what that means? Because when I first heard it, I was like, oh, okay, I guess the heart was gone and the liver was gone, but it seems like even the esophagus and other things. Can you explain what all was not there?
Well, essentially, yeah, everything was gone.
So even like the tongue, the esophagus, the lungs, all of it.
But the neck had not been dissected where we found the injury, which was way up at the angle of the jaw. And that had not been dissected. So we dissected that area, and that's where the hemorrhage was found. And that's basically a conclusion that he died of sudden death, not a positional asphyxia death, but sudden death. And that because of that hemorrhage in the soft tissues there, means there was force applied, either an arm across or a blow or something that essentially caused the heart to stop. Because there's a structure called the carotid body, which basically feeds back and forth to the heart. And if your blood pressure goes too high, the carotid body senses that and slows the heart down. But compression of that area can cause the heart to actually slow to the point that it briefly stops. And sometimes in the situation, it doesn't restart. And I think that's probably what happened when some force was applied to that area, enough to cause the hemorrhage, that basically the heart slowed down to a point that it did not recover, or it was kept too long and didn't recover. The pressure was kept too long. The heart basically didn't restart itself.
Let's go back to something the public was never given full answers about. The raids, the federal searches, the homes that were entered, and the electronics that were taken. Because in the Kendrick Johnson case, this was not isolated. Federal search warrants were executed in connection to multiple individuals tied to this case. Searches connected to the Bell family. Searches connected to Ryan Hall. Searches connected to Taylor Eakin. And I need y'all to understand something clearly. When the FBI executes search warrants, that does not happen casually. That means someone went before a judge. That means an affidavit was sworn. That means probable cause was presented and accepted. At minimum, the government believed there was something worth looking for, and something worth taking seriously. Now let's add another critical layer that comes directly from sworn testimony. In her sworn deposition, Aaliyah Griffin testified that FBI agents came to her house. She testified that she gave her phone to those FBI agents. Let that sit for a moment. This confirms federal involvement beyond just one household. This confirms that phones and electronics were being collected. And once devices enter the picture, this case moves into an entirely different category. Because phones hold data. Phones hold timelines. Phones hold communications. Phones hold location history. Phones hold messages people thought were deleted. Phones hold the truth people don't always want exposed. So now, we are no longer talking about speculation. We are talking about digital evidence. And digital evidence does not disappear on its own. Now I want to be very clear about what comes next. This is a hypothetical alternate theory, not an accusation, not a declaration of guilt, a question. Because when facts stop flowing, questions are all that remain. What if the raids and the seizure of electronics were not about building a criminal case? What if the purpose was not prosecution, but control? What if evidence was collected, not to expose the truth, but to prevent the truth from ever being used? Because after all those raids, after all those searches, after all those devices were taken, the public received nothing. No detailed report, no explanation of findings, no statement saying nothing was found, no statement saying something was found. Just silence. And silence in a case like this is not neutral. If nothing was found, why not say that clearly?
All right. Did you guys hear what I just said? What if the searches were meant to collect all digital evidence, to destroy it, not meant to collect evidence to prosecute? Think about that. Why else was it that we didn't hear anything else about it after it? What if, and don't think it's not plausible, we've learned a lot from Jaguar Wright, right? About the government, how they operate the leaks. What if the evidence was collected to destroy it all? That's what the searches are for. In lieu of the evidence being collected to preserve and to prosecute. What do you think about that, Jay?
my thoughts that be on there. I was really wonder like if they still have everything in files now. Like
Mm-hmm.
so much have been destroyed. Like well, I ain't gonna say destroyed. Yeah, it's hard to say, cause some from then and now, just by us showing evidence, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying. You gotta have in the back of your mind that okay, when somebody get to a type of level of anxiety
Mm-hmm.
and fear of
Mm-hmm.
exposure,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you don't know what they'll do. You don't know what power they have. So like, okay, they know this or they have this. Okay, now we need to in case they do
Right.
open up again. You know what I'm saying? So we really just hoping, praying that justice still will be served through it all.
Yeah. We're gonna get past the hope and the pray. We already know it's done. We believe. That's just how I work. Not saying that hoping and praying is wrong. It's good to hope and pray. We all should hope and pray. But I done moved past that. I know it's gonna be done. But here's the thing. You got a critical thing. If the judge, like you said, he saw something that made him sign, right? Michael Moore declared to the world, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. They did the searches, collected all of the electronics that had evidence on it. Even Aaliyah Griffin's, the one who said that Ryan Hall confessed via text that Brian Bell and them did it. I'll do this person like I did KJ. Crashing out, right?
I wonder what it was that initially made him sound that.
Oh, well, once you go black, it's kind of hard to go back. That's why. She was an African American young lady. Mm-mm.
That was a judge.
No, Aaliyah Griffin, the one that he was pillow talking with. Ryan Hall was pillow talking.
I'm saying I'm trying. I wonder what specific evidence it was. That significant evidence was that made the judge sign off.
Oh, they
I
had
wonder.
evidence of Rick Bell
What was
obstructing
it?
justice, tampering with witnesses. Even Aaliyah Griffin's her sworn testimony says that when she went to the school in front of the gym, she was with Ryan Hall, and then they met Rick Bell and his wife Karen Bell. They got in a car with them, and Karen Bell handed Ryan Hall a folder with his attendance records. That's not his mama. Why are you handing him his attendance records? In my opinion, I said what I said. Karen, sue me. You gave him a records that were manipulated, that were altered to show the court. You had a whole folder to give to this dude right before he testifies to the grand jury. You gave him a folder with his You're not his mom. You're coaching him on what to say at the grand jury testimony. They're tampering with witnesses. If you watch Finding Kendrick Johnson's documentary, you will find and hear that Rick Bell was showing up at people's jobs, all that, tampering with witnesses, intimidating witnesses. That's what they had. My problem with that is they never said nothing after they confiscated the electronics. So that's what makes me believe, because I've been trained by Jaguar, right? Shout out to Jaguar, right? That the government and elites operate backwards. What that means is I believe that the raids were not meant to collect the evidence to prosecute. They were meant to collect the evidence to continue to cover up. Aaliyah Griffin had a phone out there with a text message, right? From somebody that was involved, right? They had to get it. In any conversation between them, they had to grab that daggone electronic evidence.
Phone, cause they knew they was been talking about it. Even if they didn't know, they wanted to make sure that it
Think
wasn't no
about it.
evidence.
Think about it. That's why we never heard what was found on it and what was not found on it. The most important thing was we never heard of what was not found on it. We heard nothing.
Why was that excluded out?
Yeah, nothing. Next thing we know, Michael Moore, the U.S. attorney at that time that declared to Valdosta, I'm going to get to the bottom of this, resigned and became a private lawyer again.
Dipped out.
Then it was moved to Ohio, guys. Check this out. What? Guess who else went to Ohio? College. Brian Bell. Brian Bell went to Ohio too. He was dropped from Florida. Somebody pulled some strings and got him to Akron University. The Johnson's case was in Ohio. Bell was in Ohio. Rick Bell. What other connections do you have with higher ups, Mr. FBI agent in Ohio? It went from U.S. attorney that resigned to another U.S. attorney who also resigned, and to a third U.S. attorney who ultimately dismissed it.
Pull some strings, boy.
What a coincidence.
He connected with some people out there in Ohio.
And then it was said that Rick Bell was forced to retire. They could have fired him, but they didn't want to bring attention to the FBI for the cover-up, so they forced him to retire. So he's no longer an FBI agent. So if you know anything, he's no longer an FBI agent. Come forth. You can come forth confidentially. We're not going to say your name. Inbox me. You don't got the problem no more. Inboxes. Sign a petition. Tell us what you know. You're an adult now. You're no longer a vulnerable kid.
High schooler. Yep.
I know you guys seen something because you were in the hallway when he entered the gym. You were there. Speak up. All right? Anything else, son? I mean, nephew? I ain't just. I can probably be your mother, but I'm gonna call you nephew. Anything else? Y'all think about it though. We not dumb on this channel. Y'all know that. We gonna get to the bottom of it.
Like she said, everybody grown now.
Make it make sense though. Y'all confiscated that evidence to cover up. You had no intentions on prosecuting. But oh, there's somebody that's about to break. I speak it into existence in Jesus' name. Some of you call her Yeshua. I say Yeshua, a Yeshua's name. To me, they're all the same. Let's get back.
If something was found, why has it never been explained? Because one thing is certain. If devices were seized, results exist. Whether they helped someone, whether they hurt someone, whether they confirmed the official story or destroyed it, results exist. And then the timeline takes a turn that raises even more questions. In November of 2015, U.S. Attorney Michael Moore resigned from his position. After his resignation, the federal investigation into Kendrick Johnson's death was transferred to the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Northern District of Ohio. Stephen Dettelbach, the U.S. Attorney for that district, assumed leadership of the federal
I need to slow
probe.
this down.
Then,
because this guy in the black right here, that's Brian Bell. I actually showed this video earlier, and I said, and I guess one of you guys said, who is that? Who is that pushed Kendrick? You see the all black? You remember the all black? They was walking side by side. Brian Bell pushed Kendrick. That's him. Pay attention.
Dettelbach resigned in early 2016. The investigation continued through leadership changes in Ohio. And on June 20th, 2016, the Department of Justice announced the federal investigation was officially closed. The stated reason was insufficient evidence to support federal criminal charges. So let's put that together. Raids, electronics seized, phones collected, federal involvement confirmed, leadership changes, case transferred out of Georgia. Then the case is closed. And still, no public accounting of what was found on those devices. So here is the hypothetical question that refuses to go away. What if the seizures were not about justice, but about containment? What if the evidence held answers that were never meant to see daylight? Because there is a difference between an investigation that ends and an investigation that disappears. And to this day, the public is still asking what really happened behind those closed doors. Now this is where we transition, because the silence around the evidence does not stop with the raids. It continues when we look at what happened after Kendrick Johnson's body was found. It continues when we examine how his autopsy was handled. It continues when we listen to sworn testimony from the medical examiner herself. And that brings us to the sworn deposition of Dr. Marianne Gaffney Kraft, the medical examiner who performed Kendrick Johnson's first autopsy. In her own sworn words, Dr. Gaffney Kraft explains what evidence was missing, what could not be examined, what decisions were made, and what limitations existed in determining Kendrick Johnson's true cause and manner of death. Because if we are going to understand why this case went silent, we have to examine what was lost, what was removed, and what was never fully investigated. Next, we turn to Dr. Marianne Gaffney Kraft's sworn deposition and what her own testimony reveals about what happened to Kendrick Johnson after the cameras were gone, after the headlines faded, and after the truth became inconvenient. When a case is labeled an accident, the public is expected to accept that conclusion and move on. But in the case of Kendrick Johnson, we have never been given a conclusion that fully matches the evidence, and that is why we are still here. Because an official narrative is only as strong as the facts supporting it, and when sworn testimony contradicts what is visible in the photographs, the contradictions must be addressed. This segment is a deep dive into the discrepancies within Dr. Marianne Gaffney Kraft's deposition testimony compared directly to the physical evidence documented in images. Not assumptions, not rumors, not what people think happened. Sworn testimony, photographic evidence, mechanics, anatomy, and facts that do not align. Dr. Marianne Gaffney Kraft testified to a specific explanation of how Kendrick Johnson entered the wrestling mat, and her testimony is the foundation of the official story the world was asked to accept. She stated that the mats were stored vertically, approximately 7 feet tall, and she testified that Kendrick Johnson was approximately 5 feet 10 inches. She also testified that a black Adidas men's size 10 shoe was inside the mat, and that this shoe became stuck or lodged rather than immediately falling to the bottom. According to her testimony, Kendrick reached into the mat to retrieve the shoe, and then she stated the shoe slipped further down. She testified that Kendrick consciously continued to reach for it, and as he continued reaching, he slipped farther and farther into the mat himself. She described the mat as tight, but capable of expanding, and she explained that gravity combined with the mat's expansion essentially caused Kendrick to be pulled deeper into the mat head first until he became trapped and died. That is the explanation she testified to. That is the explanation the world was told to accept. And now we must examine whether that explanation holds up against the evidence. One of the first discrepancies in Dr. Gaffney Kraft's testimony involves the shoe itself, which is not a small detail in her story. In her deposition, she initially referenced both black shoes being inside the mat, and then she corrected herself and stated that only one black shoe was inside the mat. She identified that shoe as a black Adidas size 10, and she also acknowledged that the other matching shoe was outside of the mat on the gym floor, near other mats and at some distance away. This matters because the shoe is the motive used in the story. The shoe is the reason Kendrick supposedly entered the mat. So the shoe placement must make sense, and it must remain consistent, but it does not. Because the story shifts. 2 shoes becomes 1, and the matching shoe is not located in the same place. That alone raises questions about how the facts are being interpreted. Since Dr. Gaffney Kraft testified that the shoe inside the mat was a men's size 10 Adidas, we must deal with that shoe as a physical object and not just a talking point. A men's US size 10 Adidas shoe measures approximately 10.9 to 11.2 inches in length from heel to toe, and approximately 4 to 4.5 inches in width at its widest point. That shoe is rigid. It is structured. It does not compress. If a rigid shoe over 4 inches wide could become lodged inside the mat and not immediately fall, then the mat opening or interior space was restricted enough to create resistance. That is the premise her story depends on. The mat was tight enough to trap a shoe. Now apply that same premise consistently. If the mat opening was small enough or restrictive enough to impede a rigid shoe 4 to 4.5 inches wide, then what does that tell us about whether a human body could willingly enter? A 17-year-old male of Kendrick Johnson's height and build would have shoulders measuring approximately 16 to 19 inches across. Shoulders are constrained by bone structure. They are not flexible. They do not compress down to a few inches. If a shoe could lodge because of restriction, then shoulders 3 to 4 times wider would face even more restriction.
Y'all hear
That
that?
creates a major contradiction. A mat opening cannot logically be narrow enough to trap a shoe and wide enough to willingly admit human shoulders without further explanation. That is not speculation. That is basic spatial geometry. And it is a direct conflict inside the very narrative we are being told to accept. Dr. Gaffney Craft's testimony attempts to resolve the story by describing the mat as both tight and expandable. Tight enough to trap a shoe. Expandable enough to allow a body to continue entering. Restrictive enough to cause entrapment, yet loose enough for movement to continue. Then gravity is described as the force that draws Kendrick deeper into the mat. But when that explanation is held against the physical evidence, it collapses. Because if gravity pulled Kendrick deeper into a tight vertical space, the evidence on his body should reflect downward drag and downward displacement.
Y'all hear that?
What we see documented is the opposite. Photographs show Kendrick Johnson's pants pulled upward, bunched toward the thighs, and that detail is not minor because clothing moves according to force and direction. In a head-first entry scenario, gravity and friction should pull clothing downward and the fabric should shift toward the feet or remain in a neutral position. Instead, the pants are displaced upward against gravity. Upward displacement is consistent with the lower body entering first, where friction forces fabric upward and causes it to bind and lock into position. The pants do not align with a head-first fall, but they align with feet-first mechanics. And that is a direct contradiction to the story testified to under oath. The same pattern appears in Kendrick's shirt, and this point is even more important because of what happens during extraction. Images taken while Kendrick was being pulled head-first out of the mat from the opposite side show that his shirt remained pushed upward. Gravity should have pulled the shirt back down once pressure was removed. It did not. That indicates sustained compression and prolonged upward displacement, long enough for the fabric to bind and remain set. That is not consistent with a brief head-first slip. It is consistent with prolonged compression in a tight space. And again, it does not match the explanation the public has been given. The physical evidence continues with the ear. The external ear is elastic cartilage, and it bends in the direction of applied force. It does not naturally fold upward by itself. Photographs show Kendrick's ear folded upward and forward, compressed against the head. In a head-first entry, the ear would be expected to flatten backward or downward based on the direction of contact and compression. An upward ear fold is mechanically consistent with friction and compression occurring as the head is dragged after the body in a feet-first descent. That ear position is another physical marker contradicting the head-first explanation. And the more these markers stack up, the less the official narrative holds together. Now listen carefully, because this is where the pattern matters. Any one of these details could be dismissed. A shoe detail, a clothing detail, an ear detail, but all of them together form a single consistent pattern. Shoe behavior that does not match the story. A mat opening that cannot accommodate shoulders if it trapped a shoe. Clothing displaced upward against gravity. A shirt that remained displaced during extraction. And an ear folded in a direction inconsistent with head-first compression. These are not scattered observations. They are connected. And they all point away from the narrative testified to under oath. This is why it is critically important that the public does two things at the same time. Examine the photographs and read Dr. Marianne Gaffney Craft's sworn testimony. Photographs are not supplemental evidence. They are primary evidence. They capture reality. They capture direction. They capture compression. And they capture displacement. Testimony provides an interpretation, and when the interpretation and the physical evidence align, they reinforce one another. But when they do not, the contradiction must be addressed. That is how justice works. And that is how science works. Dr. Gaffney Craft, I'm going to speak to you directly. You testified under oath to a version of events that does not align with what Kendrick Johnson's body shows us.
Absolutely.
You told the world a shoe got lodged, but shoulders went in. You described a mat as tight but expanding. You described gravity pulling Kendrick deeper, but his clothing moved upward. You gave an explanation that requires the evidence to change direction and change behavior to fit.
Okay, so guys, I want you to picture this in your mind. You go head first into a very tight, confined space. Guess what's going to happen if you go head first? Your clothing is going to pull downward. It's going to pull down. Oops. Right? Because you're squeezing into a confined space. Right? Put a 1 in the chat if you understand what I'm saying. If you're going head first into a confined space, your clothing is going to pull downward. If the space is open, your clothing is going to fall if you're upside down, right? But if you're going head first, your clothing is going to pull down because you're squeezing in your hair and everything. That's not how Kendrick's clothes look. Kendrick's clothes look like his feet was stuffed in a confined space because his pants are riding up. Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
You go into a tight space, your clothes are going to ride up. Right? Right. When you go feet first. Head first.
Why was his pants unzipped anyway?
The medical examiner did it. Don't know why he did it. Contaminated the whole crime scene. But this right here tells a story. Feet first. Pants rising. Pushed up. Not pulled down to the feet like they should have been if he went head first into a place that he couldn't fit in. Now, if Dr. Gaffney Kraft testified that the shoe got caught in this spot that's only a 9.5 to 10.5 foot shoe, and his shoulders are 16 to 19 inches wide, if the shoe got caught, that means he had to squeeze in. That meant that his clothes would have been pulled downwards. This would have been down. Pants would have been down. Shirt would have been down. It's going the opposite direction. This right here is pushed up. Why? Because in my opinion, he was stuffed in the mat feet first. Let's keep going.
Fit the story. And that is not how truth works. The body does not bend to narrative. The body records force. The body records direction. The body records mechanics. And Kendrick Johnson's body is on record. So no, Dr. Gaffney.
Look at his shirt.
This is not just questioning.
Look at his shirt.
This is accountability.
Look at his shirt. I'm sorry to have to show you guys this, but look at his shirt. Folded upward. Feet first. Imagine you're going into a confined space. It's going to pull your clothes upward. And even when he fell out the mat, when they tipped it over, his shirt was still pulled upward. Again, that aligns with him being stuffed in the mat, feet first. Let's go.
You owe the public an explanation that accounts for the dimensions, the forces, the clothing displacement, and the physical evidence we can all see. Because Kendrick Johnson was somebody's child, and the people who loved him are not going to be silenced by a story.
This right here is his right chest. You see how the post-mortem wound is? This is his right chest. Okay? No blood. No blood. You got this little liquid from the skin contact. If he was alive when he... Look at the mat marks. Y'all see where he was caught on the mat when they were stuffing him? Him in the mat feet first? This is pushed upward. This is pushed upward. Feet first. Stuffed him in. Feet first. The skin slippage is pushed upward. If he went in head first of all, this mat, and if he was alive, first of all, this wound wouldn't be here. Skin slippage doesn't happen to after you're dead. But the fact that it's pushed upward, this is his right chest, upward, means that he was stuffed in the mat feet first. These marks are the mats. Catching his skin, catching it as they're stuffing him in. The mat was laying down. They're stuffing him in. Shirt's up because they're stuffing him in. Everything's getting pushed up. The body don't lie. This is not the only wound that's on his body with skin slippage that's pushed upward. You understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying, nephew? You snoring. But let's get back into it.
I had to take everything back on.
Okay. But do you understand what I'm saying? You see the mat marks? Where the mat caught his torso? You see where it's going up? It won't go up. If you're going ahead first, it will go down. Because it's a confined space. It will pull the skin down. But because the mat caught him several times as they was pushing his body in, it was going up. Feet first, guys. Feet first. This is the evidence. They're lying. And justice is coming.
That doesn't match the facts. We are not going away. We are not backing down. And we are not going to stop asking questions until the evidence and the narrative tell the same story. Justice for Kendrick Johnson.
Johnson was found dead in a rolled-up gym mat at his high school. Originally ruled accidental. The parents are very upset. They believe that their son was murdered. So now feds took over the investigation. But now the latest development we're getting is that there was an email tip sent to the sheriff's office saying and implicating certain individuals. The sheriff's office, which ruled this an accident, now following up on that the next day, issuing subpoenas. And it seems like this investigation moved forward. Joey Jackson, Mike Brooks with me, and Jane Velez Mitchell, host of Jane Velez Mitchell, joins us now. Jane, it seems from where I'm sitting, this is a big, big development in trying to get to the bottom of what happened here.
Absolutely, Vinny. And I think it's great that with alacrity, investigators interviewed two of the four individuals named in this anonymous email tip. I'd like to see them go further. First of all, I'd like to know, where were they at the time of Kendrick Johnson's death? So that's number one. Also, if you're looking at the poor individual, the victim there in the rolled up gym mat, there's clothing, there's a lot of material around there. What about their DNA, their fingerprints? Is there any matchup between those two? So I think that there's a lot of work still to be done. I'm also curious. I heard the report that 100 people were interviewed in the wake of this. And I want to know, were those two individuals or the four individuals named in the anonymous tip amongst those 100 individuals originally interviewed? And of course, the biggest question, who sent the anonymous tip? Is this person possibly the one who's actually involved and wants to throw police off as we get closer to a possible resolution with the feds getting involved and a grand jury convening to hear this? Is this possibly an effort to send them in the wrong direction? So it really compounds the mystery, but there's a lot to work with here.
Well, Jane, Victor Blackwell said that the four names have come up in the investigation before. So we don't know if they are possibly part of the 100 who were interviewed, and they are trying to find out the origin and who sent this. So, you know, they've interviewed two. They didn't interview the other two. Could this also be an investigative ploy? Could this be, talk to two of them, and maybe there might be some talk between the others? And so I don't think that they're ignoring the other two totally.
All right, guys. Okay. We are done with the video. We're done with the video, guys. I hope you guys learned something tonight. I hope you guys really understand what the evidence showed. The body evidence. And I wish I can show you more of the horrific autopsy photos that I see. All the discrepancies that are present within the crime scene video, within the testimony, within the photos, how they manipulate his body, how they moved his body. Please follow me on Facebook, guys. You'll see I break it all down because Facebook will allow me to show the photos. YouTube won't. I show more photos on Facebook than I do on YouTube. Do you have any closing remarks?
I encourage everybody to go sign that petition.
Sign it.
What's the what was the goal that they said?
You know, I need to talk to Miss Johnson. I think that you talk to her a lot more than I interact with her there. So ask her how many signatures we need. All I know is that everybody needs to sign it.
It number to be
Every
it number to be like a certain amount that
right.
will
Ask her.
close it up. I'm
Yeah,
gonna ask her.
yeah. Ask her. We'll be back next week with more because we're uncovering something every day. Every day. It's so much more. So many more discrepancies that this video or the video before did not bring out, guys. Follow us on Facebook. Uh Jay, drop your Facebook and your YouTube in the chat for the folk to follow. I encourage you to follow him, guys. Please follow me. And I want to thank each and every one of you. I think I had 2 super chats. Thank you so much. Because your super chats, again, they help me pay for the tools that are a few $100s a month to continue to make the videos and make the content that I shared. I don't know where Jay went. I'm gonna see if I can find his page and see if I can drop it in the chat for him. I'm trying to find it. I can't find it, y'all. Nope. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it on my Facebook page. Please follow the Facebook, guys. That's where I'm at the majority of time because that actually is where a lot of the following is for Kendrick Johnson. You guys know that. Oh my God. Thank you so much, Barbara. I appreciate you so much, sweetie. That is where the following for KJ's Justice is on Facebook. We got to get it across the board. Okay, guys, we got to sign the petition. I'm going to drop the petition again. I dropped your Jay, I dropped your Facebook. Please drop your before we go, drop your YouTube
Drop
channel.
drop it for me. I just try to
I
do
can't
it
I can't find your YouTube. I got your Facebook. What's your YouTube name?
on Young Nine.
Young man.
Young Nine. It's my rap name.
And let me see if I can find it. Young Nine. Is that what you said? Nine, the number 9?
It wouldn't let me do
Okay.
it.
Let me see if I can. Please follow us. All platforms. I started a TikTok. Guys, I'm so focused and set on getting justice for the Johnsons. That's my focus. I have other stories. I have other stories that are piling up. I wish I had a team that I need to dissect. Oh, where did he go? He's gone. But I dropped his YouTube. I dropped his Facebook. I love you guys. I'll be back. When it comes to love, when it comes to hip hop as a graveyard, I'm working on Biz Marquee, guys. I'm working on Biz Marquee. And then when it comes to justice for the injustice, I'm working on Kendrick, of course. Kendrick Johnson. Not going to stop until we get justice. I want you guys to know that I appreciate you. I love you. Every contribution helps. Like I said, donations and contributions are desired. They're not required. I work a full-time job. I'll do whatever it takes to take care of that and to make sure that we're able to continue to make meaningful, not messy content. Shout out to Jaguar Wright, Wolfgang Amadeus. I love y'all, the leaders. You know, if you have anything else that you want to say, I dropped both your pages.
That's what I was. I heard you when you say where you went.
I didn't
I was
see
trying
you.
to. Yeah, I had went. I was trying to copy and paste it in here, but
I
I see
dropped.
you. I see you find it. I
I'm
appreciate
I'm
that.
I'm resourceful at times when I ain't messing up. But guys, meet me on Facebook. I'm posting on it multiple times a day. I'm dropping information. Meet me on Facebook. We will be back later this week. Again, I'm working on the documentary for Biz Marquee when it comes to the hip hop is a graveyard segment of this channel. And again, we will continue to be talking about Kendrick. It's Kendrick Johnson until we get justice. Believe that.
And we had that number on the petition by then.
We don't got the. Oh yes. We'll have the number.
I'm gonna talk to
where
her.
You did.
I'm gonna talk to her. We'll talk and discuss it on the next time we get on. All right.
All right, perfect. And guys, just remember, we're not going into the mat.
We said prove it. Yeah. Listen close, they said accident. We said prove it. January 10, 17 years old. Gym flow cold, story already told. Head first in the mat, that's what they say. No, battle man when you replay. Jeans unzip, button pop, hold up, belt unbuckle, pockets out, wait. Earbuds on his chest, why snap? Damn, another wire wrapped on his arm like that. How? Tell me when that happened. When? Climbing in the mat. Like, well, after the story got written and the truth walked out the back. Yeah, grab, nah, cap, what? Hold up, wait. We ain't going in. No, we ain't going in. Hell, we ain't going in the mat. No, we ain't going in. No, we ain't going in. Say, that's it. Say, that's it. Say, that's it. Say, we ain't going in. No, we ain't going in. Hell, we ain't going in the mat. No, we ain't going in. No, we ain't going in. Say, that's it. Say, that's it. Say, that's it. Say, hey, though, marks on his body, pattern in space. Look like contact, not time, not fate. All jumps quiet, skip that page. Didn't rule it out, just turned away. Seen this before, different case. John Ben Nate, same cold face. When the truth too loud, they dim the light. But I still work in the dead of night. I ain't the coroner, I ain't the judge. I'm just asking why they won't say much. If it's nothing, say why it clean. But don't dodge the part they ain't wanna see. Nah, facts, talk, speak. We ain't going in. No, we ain't going in. Hell, we ain't going in the mat. No, we ain't going in. No, we ain't going in. Say, that's it. Say, that's it. Say.
Peace, love. I love y'all. See you next week.
No, we ain't going in. Hell, we ain't going in the mat. No, we ain't going in. No, we ain't going in. Say, thanks for coming, please. Like, share, and subscribe. Come back again. Corner late. Yeah. Time passed. Now we are going, please. That ain't opinion. Like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for coming. See you later. They called the witness, fake said he lied. Said that's the thief, just held the family. He said bet, took the polygraph test, passed it clean, then silence next. Episodes gone, no more talk.